Hey, I've been saying all year this championship's going to come right down to Atlanta.
There can only be one champion in this.
I think the luckiest man's going to win the championship.
We've got the lead. We've got 77 points. If I had a choice where I want to be, this is where I'd want to be. It's just not going to be a career year and a complete year unless we win this championship.
I think we have a very good race team, a team that's proven that it likes big game situations. Our game plan has to be to try to win. We come in probably on the best roll right now of the three as far as what's happened in the last few weeks.
It's been awesome, and I'd still like to win the championship, and we still have a shot at it. It's going to be quite a shootout. This race team has a championship in it. You know, whether we get it or not is yet to be seen, but, you know, we have one in us. I don't think there's a race team on the circuit that can do what our race team did this year.
We enjoy the pressure that comes along with trying to win a championship.
All three guys that run for this championship deserve to win the championship.
A championship Sunday dawning in Atlanta. A new layout on the track that hosts the final turns to a season-long chase, and the front runner hoping that a nightmarish weekend is over. Jeff Gordon will be door handle to door handle with the 88 of Dale Jarrett. Mark Martin working behind, hoping to speed through the door of opportunity, which has flown wide open. Hi there, glad to have you with us on RPM today. I'm Reese Davis. Got a busy day of Winston Cup racing on ESPN and ESPN2. We're going to lead up to NASCAR today right here on the Deuce. That's going to take you right up to the start of the Napa 500, which cranks up at 12:40 Eastern Time over on ESPN. Well, Jeff Gordon takes the green up by 77 points on Dale Jarrett and 87 on Mark Martin. Only twice in the modern era has a driver entered the season finale with a points lead and left without the title. While history might favor the front runner, Jeff Gordon, psychology might not. Richard Petty came from behind to win the title on the final day in 1979, the last of his 7 Winston Cup championships. And as the King once said, it's sort of like a hound dog chasing a rabbit. The rabbit might be out front, but all the pressure's on the rabbit. Today in Atlanta, the rabbit and the hounds resume the chase on a new...
Hopefully we can start out a little cautious and, everybody can keep their heads on straight and, kind of get single file and go from there.
It's going to be physically demanding on the drivers, more so than Atlanta normally is, which is one of the tougher places because of the long corners. But we're getting so much grip now that it's actually hard to continue to hold the steering wheel after a long run. But my concern are the parts and the tires on these cars. So that's what you're going to have to do. Is the guy that takes care of his equipment is the guy that's going to be in really good shape.
I ran 17 laps out there, which was the only only run we got there in happy hour. And my wrists were aching after the run from holding on, so tight. It's like Bristol, only 100 miles an hour faster.
Joining us now from Atlanta is Bill Weber. Bill, we're set for a day of door handle to door handle to door handle racing. Have to imagine the atmosphere, 3 syllables, electric.
Exactly right, Reese. Even all the cold, wet, lousy weather we've been having couldn't dampen the enthusiasm or the excitement here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. And the weather has been a factor. Limited practice. We also had just 1 round of qualifying, and happy hour was only about 20 minutes. But today it's sunny and 45 degrees. That's a day at the beach compared to what it has been. Now, I think the storyline here is Jeff Gordon's luck. He hasn't won in the last 6 races, and in the last 16 races, he has 3 wins. But he also has 5 finishes of 17th or lower. Now, that 17th place finish came last time out at Phoenix, and that's what has set the stage for this dramatic charge to the championship today. Gordon's bad luck continued on Saturday. So the question now, is Jeff Gordon's Winston Cup half full or half empty? In an innocent move, Gordon was warming up his tires when his Chevy slipped out from underneath him. He slid into Bobby Hamilton's car that was parked on pit road. Both went to a backup car. In the frantic scramble to prepare the new car and get the qualifying engine from the wrecked car, the Rainbow Warriors made a rare mistake, leading to an oil leak that cost Gordon on his lone qualifying lap, leaving him a distant 37th in the starting field.
I know for me, starting as far back as I am, you know, I've got to get going because I don't want to go a lap down early either. So we got a couple things that are, you know, that are going on. But hey, now we've got nothing to lose. We're starting back there. Now we're in a situation where we just got to go for it and get up there. And now maybe the pressure's back on those other guys.
We can't blame it on anybody but ourselves. You know, we made a mistake on pit road and made a mistake here in the garage area qualifying. So, you know, when your wounds are self-inflicted, you know, you got to be a big boy and try and get them fixed.
Hopefully we got the mistakes out of the way, but you know, beating ourselves up isn't going to get us anywhere, and it's certainly not going to win the championship for us tomorrow. I mean, right now we've got to get our heads on straight and just really be focused. And you know, I think sometimes situations like this actually make us, you know, come to the top.
Heading into this weekend, Dale Jarrett and Mark Martin's championship hopes relied in large part on Gordon's fortune. But with the points leader starting 37th, both teams are looking at the possibility of a simpler equation. A strong performance could equal a series title.
Now, there's pressure on every one of us, you know, but the greatest amount of pressure is on Jeff because he's trying to protect the lead, and we're just trying to do everything that we can to win the race and go up front.
He's probably got the best shot at winning the championship. I'm talking about Jeff Gordon. Still, great race team, good race car, great race car driver. He's pretty good point lead. He's in pretty good shape, but things could go wrong for him. He could have another bad day.
If Gordon does struggle, strong qualifying runs have put Jarrett and Martin in position to take advantage. Jarrett starts third, Martin rolls off ninth.
It didn't concern me where they were qualifying at all, but where I was going to start, certainly. You know, being up front was great. Getting on the inside was even better. So, you know, I wouldn't have cared if it had been 5th or 7th as long as it was on the inside.
Oh, I believe we've got as good a car as in the field, better than most. And I don't think there's, you know, it's very, very hard to tell, but I didn't see anybody that was better than us. But Terry is certainly as good as us, good as our car. And it may all go crazy. We didn't, you know, nobody had enough practice to see how it'll shake out, but I'm really happy with my car.
With the spotlight clearly on the drivers, the responsibility of keeping the team focused falls on the crew chiefs. Despite everything that's at stake, the strategy has to remain simple. Treat this race day like the 31 others.
We said in a meeting we were going to come down here, do nothing different than we've done all year long. We got a lot of confidence in our race team. We're relaxed. We have nothing to lose. They've got everything to lose. And like I said earlier, the rubber band's wound tight. And I mean, hey, if we were in that position, I'm sure that we'd be the same way.
Come from the back enough this year to where I'm not concerned about it. And I know that's a good race car, but like I said, you know, we've got to make sure that we're all clicking. It's just like baseball. You get 3 strikes, and we've already got 2 strikes, and we don't need to be trying to hit a home run tomorrow. We just need to connect with the ball. We just don't need to take another wild swing.
Those 3 teams are hoping they touch all the bases here today. Now, just so you get a feeling for the atmosphere, Reese, in the garage area, the guys seem to feel to a man that this is going to be one of those classic, you'll never forget kind of races. And why not? Last race, last chance, 3 guys going for the championship. Throughout the season, we've seen the fans at Richmond sit in the cold, the fans at Texas in the rain, the fans in California in the heat, and the fans in Pocono in the traffic. But this is exactly why they go through it week in and week out, so they can be part of an exciting championship finish. And that's exactly what we're going to have here today. This is when we all get the big reward.
Stage is certainly set, Bill. Now, as for Jeff Gordon, the last few weeks, we've heard a lot from his camp about not wanting to do anything to jeopardize the points race. However, given their problems in Atlanta this weekend, I would have to think that mindset might have changed a little bit, especially now being in a backup car.
Yeah, it could, Reese, but I'd have to disagree with you. I don't think it has, because I don't think they have any backup cars. I don't think they have a second-string car. The car that Jeff is going to race here is backdraft. They pulled it off the truck in Michigan after he wrecked on Saturday morning. It finished 5th. It ran here a year ago. It finished 3rd. It also was tested here. So I think that team is confident that when they pull a backup car off the truck, that it's going to run very well. Jeff Gordon is deep in the field. He's going to have a hard time getting to the front. I think the 2 biggest races of the year are the first race and the last last race. The first race sets the tone for the entire season. The last race sets the tone for the entire offseason. Everybody in front of Jeff Gordon is racing with a purpose today. Whether it's points, performance, or for personal reasons, they all want to be at the front when this thing is over. There's going to be some contact on the track. If that contact results in a collision, the question's going to be, is Gordon behind it, in front of it, through it, or in it?
As you mentioned, he could use a little racing luck, something he hasn't had the last few weeks. Now, we've got a redesigned track, a reconfigured track, and you mentioned happy hour was more like the happy 20 minutes. Everything's been shortened this weekend. How much of an effect is that going to play, particularly in the area of tires?
Tires are the big question here, Reese. There is some talk this morning that NASCAR is considering a competition caution. It could come at lap 25 or lap 30. They want to check the tires. No one's really been able to run a race setup here, so no one really knows how long the tires will last. The right side tires do wear out. The left side tires do blister, basically because there's a tremendous amount of grip on this track, and that creates a lot of strain on that rubber. So NASCAR is considering a caution. Basically, it's a safety factor. You don't want anybody in the wall because of a tire-related problem.
Okay, Bill, we will keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye out for you on RPM tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
I won't miss it.
Well, in addition to the championship, the Napa 500 is also the swan song for Ford Thunderbird. The T-Birds have been the fabulous Thunderbirds, tough enough to win 19 of 31 races. Next season, T-Birds will be replaced by the Taurus. T-Birds have been running Winston Cup racing since 1978. But all that's an aside to Ford, Chevy, and Pontiac drivers. Only 3 guys are able to win the championship, but many others are fighting to finish 97 on a winning note. Here's John Kernan.
In qualifying here on Saturday, the new Atlanta Motor Speedway became the fastest track on the Winston Cup circuit. Jeff Godine's pole-winning speed was over 197 miles an hour. So far in testing, qualifying, and practice, the talk is centered around speed and safety. Today, the reconstructed quad oval faces its biggest test. 43 cars racing for 500 miles with limited practice.
We're concerned with the speed. It's fast for a mile-and-a-half track, but, you know, it doesn't mean it's not safe. It doesn't mean we're under an unsafe condition. It's just a lot of unknowns are created when you go this fast on this kind of track, when you don't get practice on this kind of track.
I'd sure like to run a little bit more here in the happy hour like everybody here, but we've learned a lot in testing. We're going to apply a lot to what we learned testing right here. Of course, we didn't make a lot of long runs, but we did make longer runs on older sets of tires. So a lot of it's just going to be start off, see what you got, and try to adjust to it.
1 year ago, Terry Labonte captured his second Winston Cup championship here in Atlanta, but he struggled this season and stands 6th in the points, more than 500 behind Jeff Gordon. He got his first win of the year 3 races ago at Talladega. Today, he starts 4th, looking for a strong finish to his championship reign.
The win at Talladega was a big boost for us, and to be able to come down here and have a good run and would mean a lot. We need that momentum going into next year to make another run at that championship, and I think we're off to a good start for that.
While this is a new Atlanta Motor Speedway, Dale Earnhardt dominated the old one. 8 wins and 24 top 5s in 39 starts. His last win came here 58 races ago, and today marks his last chance to extend a 15-year streak with at least 1 victory each season.
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely like to win a race here. It's been so discouraging to go all year and not win a race, so it's time to win one.
Another key points position battle to watch in today's race, the final spots in the top 10. Right now you got Rusty Wallace, Ted Musgrave, Kenny Schrader, Jeremy Mayfield, and Johnny Benson all vying for the final spots to get them onto the stage at New York in the season-ending banquet. Reporting from the Atlanta Motor Speedway, I'm John Kernan.
All right, John, thanks a lot. Plenty more ahead from Atlanta Motor Speedway. 3 Winston Cup drivers enter the day, not only with mathematical hopes, but realistic chances of winning the championship. That's something that the King knows about.
Hey, I'll tell you, it's beyond the driver and the crew now. It's just up to fate. It's just ever how things are supposed to be.
Also ahead from Atlanta, a thrilling 1-2-3 finish in the season-ending ARCA race. It's got a great name to it. It's the Reese's.
The aluminum in your car radiator is as thin as this sheet, and it's the only thing between you and a breakdown. But Prestone Antifreeze bonds with aluminum, forming a zone of protection against corrosion and temperature extremes. Protect your car in the Prestone zone. And also, check out Prestone Low-Tox Antifreeze, specially formulated to give an extra margin of safety around pets and wildlife. Prestone Low-Tox, it's extra protection in the Prestone zone.
it be cool if you could synchronize traffic to your every movement? If you could do away with all obstacles? Even make trains run on your schedule. It's like that at Shell, where our stations are designed so nothing slows you down. Shell, moving at the speed of life.
When sports cream, when legs are sore, when backs ache, when muscles hurt. Wise Sports Cream, rubbing it in brings fast pain relief. No medicine-y smell. Wise Sports Cream, because it works.
When it comes to choosing the right motor oil, let's make something perfectly clear. Introducing 3 new oils from Quaker State, specially formulated for the vehicle you drive. Synthetic blends for hard-working engines and high-horsepower engines. A full synthetic for ultimate engine protection. Extra filtered with patented micro-Q filtration to ensure your oil starts clean for a difference you can see and trust. So when it comes to protecting your vehicle, why take a chance? Quaker State. The choice is clear.
Newton established the equation of a force before he could ever see force personified. He never watched hockey, and now he's dead. Watch the NHL on ESPN2 before life passes you by.
RPM Today is being brought to you by Quaker State, the quality your car deserves. Now, back to Reese Davis.
ARCA race in Atlanta, the Reese's 400. Catchy title. You know, there's no wrong way to race a Reese's, but that might be it. Rich Woodland in the 86, 25 Philip Young got selected. First of 9 cautions in the race. Let's go low live with Mark Gibson not getting it done. No bug, but he was bugging. And that 53 laps left. The 74 of Gary Layton passes Frank Kimmel. 7 laps to go. Layton into the wall. One of them racing deals. He's done for the day. The race to the line for the lead. The 90 of Ed Barrier backs off. Frank Kimmel will pass him on the outside, and he'll win the race back to the stripe on the last lap. Kimmel with the lead. 80 is Andy Hillenberg. Harris Devane in the 33. What do we have? Devane intervention. Jerry Punch.
3 wide. They are door to door for the stripe. Who will it be?
Harris Devane.
And Harris Devane takes the win. There's contact. Hillenberg spins in turn 1.
Devane intervention wins it. Tim Steele is your ARCA points champion. Well, it's a 3-headed battle for the Winston Cup Championship. Only one of these gentlemen will end the day still smiling behind that trophy. We'll talk to all 3 when we come back.
What's the hottest NASCAR public?
Whenever you feel like watching cartoons, you know there's only one place you can find them anytime, day or night. Cartoon Network. No matter when you tune in, you'll see a cartoon, because that's all we play. Cartoons. Cartoons, 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 cartoons. All cartoons, all the time. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, forever and ever and ever and ever until the end of time. So come to the place that's playing cartoons when nobody else is. The world's first and only Cartoon Network.
Hammerhead.
That's Daggett.
Stinkface.
That's Norbert.
Am not.
They're brothers.
Copy Beaver.
They're beavers.
The Booger.
They're the Angry Beavers.
Radio Rady.
They're Nickelodeon's newest Nicktoon.
What? Nickelodeon's newest Nicktoon.
Oh.
They're 2 furry brothers venturing out on their own. They're wildlife, living a wild life.
Sponsored by the Livewire Sound Glove. Check out a Livewire today.
For everyone. At 6:30, Coach K's squad is stacked with a great blend of youth and experience. The Blue Devils take on Davidson. Then at 8:30, the General marches his troops to Birmingham, where big men Patterson and Collier hope to extinguish the Blazers. Davidson Duke at 6:30, Indiana UAB at 8:30. Thursday on ESPN2. Welcome to the Naismith House.
3. It's a magic number. It's certainly been a magic season for the Big 3, Jeff Gordon, Dale Jarrett, and Mark Martin. Of the 31 races so far this year, the Big 3 won 21 of them. Yes, they did. They've been 1, 2, 3 in points for the last 13 races, and the Big 3 and the family tangled at Talladega as part of a 21-car crash 3 races ago. Today in Atlanta, the battle for the Winston Cup Championship concludes. The big three have been called. Only one will be chosen.
He's going to do it. Jeff Gordon wins the California 500.
I would have never guessed coming into this season we would have won 10 races.
Mark Martin comes down and makes it 2 in a row. Martin wins.
I don't think there's a race team on the circuit that could do what our race team did this year.
Off the corner, Martin is there, but Jarrett wins by just a car length.
It's just been a tremendous year for us to be able to win 7 times.
When I look at it and I look back at the wins and the things that we've done this year, it's been an incredible year.
We've had a tremendous effort, and I'm proud of it.
I feel very good about what we've been able to accomplish.
Well, we got trouble.
I don't like to look at the Talladega event as dodging a bullet.
When I saw Jeff Gordon's car go sideways in the back stretch there, I said, here's our chance that we were looking for.
The DuPont Chevrolet is demolished.
Well, who comes down and hits me? But the 24 car hits me and gets Mark involved too.
Bad day for Mark Martin, second in the points.
We did all we could do. I drove as hard as I could.
Very ironic that the 2 top guys in the Winston Cup point standings both getting caught up in the accident over there.
I think that was a bad situation for everybody. Had those guys made it through that wreck, this championship would be a whole different story right now.
He has to finish 18th or better to beat Dale Jarrett if Jarrett should win the race.
If we don't win the championship, there's always going to be that little place in our mind and in our heart that says, you know, you had a great year, but you didn't win.
This race team has a championship in it. Whether we get it or not is yet to be seen.
All 3 teams and drivers have earned their spot as a champion, and unfortunately, they can't crown more than one driver and team.
Well, coming up, we'll wake up somebody that knows a little something about dancing and a little something about Winston Cup title. DW, the wake-up call.
Nobody loves cars more than I do. Each one is a work of art. So when the maker of all these chose a new antifreeze, it got my attention.
General Motors now uses the deck school technology of Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze in virtually all its new vehicles. The same patented formula you can use in your car for 5 years or 150,000 miles. So do what GM did. Switch to Haviland.
I use it in my car. I only wish this were it.
Hey, Annie. Hi. Love the hat. I need it. My hair's a disaster. Look at my dandruff. That's easy to take care of with the right shampoo. Here.
With regular shampoo, flakes can keep coming back, but Head & Shoulders helps eliminate dandruff and helps stop flakes before they even start. You may never see flakes again. And your hair?
My hair looks great. Thanks. Don't forget your hat. Who needs it?
Head & Shoulders changes dandruff problems into beautiful hair.
Championship. What's going through their minds right now?
I must get him and let him explain that to you. Hold on one moment, please.
Daryl.
Hey, man.
Hey, glad you joined us. Didn't know you had a manservant.
Oh, yeah, he screens all my calls.
What's going through the minds of the 3 guys going for the championship today? How nervous are they?
Well, if you look at how Jeff Gordon's been handling himself all weekend, he's probably just glad he woke up this morning. Right now, Jeff is the guy that should be nervous. He's the guy that's got everything to lose. And the other 2 guys, they can be loose and just let it all hang out, because if they don't win, they don't win.
If you had one piece of advice that you could give the 3 guys fighting for the championship today, what would it be?
It's pretty simple. I learned it the hard way. Don't beat yourself.
Well, Daryl, you never did, and we appreciate you joining us. And say hello to that manservant, and try to pick up the phone yourself next time, okay?
All right, my friend.
The man of 1,000 voices, Darrell Waltrip. 31 down, 1 to go. The checker drops on the Winston Cup season today in Atlanta. 500 miles left in what's been a great season. We'll highlight the highlights when we return.
Jeff Burton will make a challenge off the corner onto the straightaway.
Yeah, we did
But Jeff Gordon wins it.
obvious from the start. Like, things turn out better when you work together. That's why the UAW International Union and General Motors Corporation got together to create programs to improve skills and safety, to educate, to promote teamwork and build better quality cars and trucks. Assembly line to finish line. Teamwork wins.
When sports cream? When legs are sore. When backs ache. When muscles hurt. Wise Sports Cream, rubbing it in brings fast pain relief. No medicine-y smell. Wise Sports Cream, because it works.
What if there were shortcuts only you knew about? There are. At Shell, where it's easy to pay, pump, and go. Shell, moving at the speed of life.
RPM Today is being brought to you by Shell, moving at the speed of life.
Well, our race day just getting started on the ESPN family of networks. NASCAR Today coming up next here on The Deuce. In the Napa 500 at 12:40 Eastern over on ESPN, NASCAR Today is going to take you right up to that. RPM tonight back at 9 p.m. Eastern with the complete wrap-up. Before they drop that final green at the Napa, let's take a look back at a great Winston Cup season that brought us down to Championship Sunday.
Car is loose off the back straightaway. Slipping down the back stretch, it is Robert Presley.
No brakes, no brakes, no brakes, no brakes.
Well, on the back straightaway, Dale Earnhardt is into the wall. Looked as though he was passed by Dale Jarrett.
Oh, crashes. Jeff Gordon crashes. Oh, boom. Several cars. Ward Burton is down in the grass as he tries to pick up position. Oh, the crash. It's going to be John Andretti winning and Terry Labonte finishing second. Oh, look out. Oh, they make contact. Oh, and they make contact. Jeff Burton will make a challenge off the corner onto the straightaway.
Yeah, we did it!
But Jeff Gordon wins it.
Jeff, $1 million. Come on, buddy. What'd you expect me to do, man?
And there we go. Oh, no! Steve Griffin for that horrible crash.
Well, we got trouble. Sterling Marlin gets nailed, and it's a big one. Marlin backward into the wall. Takes Mark. Derek Coates. Jeff Gordon involved in it. Up over the top is Greg Sachs.
He's right behind him. Oh, the leader goes around.
It goes. At 23 and 7, finally got together.
Here comes Jeff Gordon to take the lead. Battle for the lead. Dale Jarrett gets the lead.
Earnhardt dives on the inside and some contact, and around goes Kyle Petty.
Dale Jarrett's in trouble. Jarrett gets in trouble. It's turn number 2.
Oh, right into your living room.
He was by far the sport's biggest star, challenged by the kid who learned his skills elsewhere, then came here for the biggest test of all. And on that day, both were winners, but the kid was champion. A trio of contenders, each worthy of the crown.
I'll tell you, something broke in the rear.
A rare misstep. Consistency rewarded. Heartwarming family success. A champion reborn. Today, 3 great drivers, 3 great teams, 1 very big prize. For my money, the atmosphere rivals Game 7 of the World Series, final minute of the NBA playoff. As often as we call the Daytona 500 our Super Bowl, I think the big January football game has more in common with today's Napa 500 because all those stick and ball classics derive their ultimate significance from the crowning of the champion, the season-ending decision, who